Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lowe, JT, and Frantz. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lowe, JT, and Frantz.
Lisa, Lowe, JT, and Frantz. Y'all ready to cook up some conversation?
Kitchen talk.
Let's talk.
Hey.
Yo.
Kitchen Talks.
I know, right? I'm trying to see if we got anybody yet. All right, I'm gonna run it one more time.
Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lowe, JT, and Frantz. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lowe, JT, and Frantz.
Lisa, Lowe, JT, and Frantz. Y'all ready to cook up some conversation?
Kitchen talk.
Let's talk.
All right. Hey. How's everybody?
Yo. Yeah, I'm gonna be good. We're good. It's about straight.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. So welcome to Kitchen Talk CTC.
Mm-hmm.
Conversation.
Conversation that cook. Yeah.
Really?
All of that.
Y'all is so slow.
Oh, in the background. She probably should be on the
Hey,
phone.
Auntie.
Yeah. She's jumping in the stage right now. I don't know what she's doing.
Who is that, JT?
Oh, this my family, y'all. My auntie and stuff.
Hey,
He just
people.
came back from out of town from a funeral, and everybody at my grandma's house and stuff like that. Y'all see my grandma? She over my shoulder right now. She's so look at that. See that?
Hey, Grandma.
Grandma, say hey. Just say hey. Hey, grandma.
Hi.
Hello.
All right, that's enough.
You're wrong for that.
Grandma can stay on Kitchen Talk as long as she wants to.
Right.
Oh God.
I ain't going like it.
Welcome to join the conversation.
Yeah. She just got a smartphone too, so she on Facebook and everything, man.
I love
That
it.
is great.
Love it.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't never seen a 92-year-old woman trying to learn how to use Facebook.
You know what? What you're not gonna do is hate on Grandma because she's doing her thing.
Mm-hmm.
Tell her to
That's
log
what
on,
not-
AT.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. We're good to go.
Yeah, tell her to log on, man. That's gonna help out with that COVID. You see, you got that mental health right there.
Right.
I guess.
Right. Exactly.
You got people to help you keep that, keep your mind right. Keep your mind right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super excited today for Kitchen Talk. So this is our second one.
You have to.
And I am like over the top excited because we still get to talk and have these conversations and just not be stopped by anything, even though we thought some things had slowed us down or maybe even felt like some things stopped us. But you're able to reimagine, you're able to recreate, and you're able to with your given circumstances. So I'm like super cool with everything that's going on right now. So today, we have a wonderful guest with us. We have Dr. Angela Henderson. She is a clinical psychologist. Is that right?
Yes.
That's gonna be hanging out in the kitchen with us. She's in her. Are you in your kitchen?
I am in my kitchen. I'm sitting at the table right now.
Yay! Because you can't have kitchen talk without being in your kitchen. So we're all in our kitchens and we're all able to still chat and talk it up and talk about some real stuff. So I reached out to Dr. Gwen Singleton, who is a professor on FAMU's campus in the psychology department. She was the chair and she has since stepped down from that. And I love her so much that, I think we lost JT, but he'll be back. She felt like we needed somebody licensed just in case there were like critical questions that folks asked or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I never thought about that. So that was so brilliant. And she introduced me to Dr. Henderson. And that's via phone. We haven't met face to face yet, but it's so good to have you. Dr. Henderson, thank you so much for volunteering your time and sharing with us on Kitchen Talk today. We really, 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 really appreciate it. What I did find interesting, and I don't know if you guys did, but it seems like there's been like this really, really big push. Oh, Dr. Singleton is on. We love you too.
Hello, Dr. Singleton.
So there's been this push in the last, I want to say maybe 2, 3, 4 years, where mental health and mental wellness are terms that are starting to be used.
Yes.
And filtering more into the African American community, and not still a little stigma, but some of the stigma is being removed from just saying, oh, they crazy, or they had to go to the crazy house, or whatever. Just the fact about getting help, a lot of times, and we've done a couple of shows, Dr. Henderson, about mental wellness or just about wellness. We talked about, being physically fit and eating the right things, and being financially fit and your mental wellness as well. So we are super excited to have you here with us on today. So my first question, and this is one that I'm struggling with. What is it in us that wants us to normalize what's going on? Like we keep hearing our new normal, our new normal, our new normal. I don't want this to be my new normal.
I definitely understand. And first, let me say, I did see your broadcast last time and loved it. You guys are absolutely terrific. What I was going to say, if we had had this kitchen talk 2 months ago, the conversation that we'll likely have today would have been different. 2 months later, we are, I wouldn't say not as concerned, but we have now some precautions in place. We kind of know, okay, this is what it's going to be. I remember, Lisa, you saying you hate the word new normal, but think of it as a better normal, that you're going to use the tools that you're going to learn during this pandemic, ways to cope, ways to adjust, and you're going to emerge a better person, more holistic, which gets back to your question. I would say years ago, the healthcare field in psychology, medicine, they began to focus on holistic medicine, meaning taking account of every part of your life. So mental health is a big part of it. So now if you go see your primary care physician, they're going to ask you questions about your mental health. How have you been doing? Have you been feeling depressed? Have you been feeling anxious? And if so, then they'll likely do a referral for you to talk to someone in our area. So we're becoming more a part of your normal healthcare system, and the stigma is beginning to be less now. Now, add in this new pandemic. The pandemic is something we haven't seen in our generation.
Mhm.
Now, our forefathers had to deal with other pandemics, but this is the first in probably our parents, their parents' lives where we had to deal with something like this. So our need to know, our need to have answers, our need to be able to problem solve, to be able to say, okay, this is how I'm going to cope with this. This is what I'm going to do, and it's going to work out, hasn't been the case because we yet don't have all the answers regarding COVID. So I think as human beings, that is the dilemma. We know what we need to do day to day, but we don't know, okay, what's going to happen 6 months from now? Are we going to be back to a quarantine? Are they going to have a vaccine? And I think, like you said, Lisa, the last time, am I going to be able to go to church again and hug my members and fellowship? So simple life, daily activities are in question now, which will and normally cause some level of anxiety.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, you know, go ahead, Lisa.
Go ahead.
I was looking at our caption and our title for today. It says stay home, stay safe, and stay sane. I think it should be stay sane first.
Yes.
Because then everything else works in its place. Whether we're home, whether we're out and about, but we have to be sane first within ourselves so that we can deal with some of the challenges, because COVID is one. We don't know what's going to happen after that. You know what I mean? Like there might be something else that pops up. We kind of have a social thing going on anyways with our society and social justice. To me, that's another type of pandemic that we're working with. So we have to stay sane first, and then everything else would fall into place when we are confronted with these different challenges. What do you think, Doc?
I think that's an excellent point, and it goes to, I jotted down a couple of things that I wanted to make sure I impart to your listeners. One would be, you're right, staying sane. So how do you when your life has changed to such a great degree where you're limited, you're restricted, you're now looking at people in a different way? All of that is new. Not a new normal, but it's new. So how do you stay sane? First, you want to stick to a routine. I think Frantz and JT, what I heard you guys say the last broadcast, is why you all are not feeling the effects as much. Because I think Lisa asked you guys, okay, how have you been coping? How are you feeling? And you guys said, well, I'm doing pretty good. You know, I don't really miss anything, you know, not really much. It's because you've been sticking to a routine. JT, you said that you're still out there as a frontline worker. So yeah, your life, you know, no matter what, you may have some stressors, but you got to get up and get at it every day. And Frantz, you've been doing something that I'll get to that's very key. And when I heard it, I was like, that is great, because we emphasize that. One would be, when you get up, whatever you do, have a plan for the day, even if it's minuscule, even if it's something just for you, do it. If you have a pet, walk the dog. If you exercise, go do some form of exercise. If you want to cook a meal, like those good, what you said, was it tacos? Something like that.
We did talk about tacos.
Oh, that was JT loving tacos.
Yeah, do it. Whatever, something special every day. Try to plan something for you that makes you feel good. One of the things I've been emphasizing to my patients in particular is to get acquainted back to that childhood. Do you remember before COVID that everybody, you're so busy, you're working, you're doing all these things where you're putting yourself last, and then you think about, man, if I had time, if I just had time, this is what I would do. This is the time to do it. So connecting back to that. And
I like that.
And that's true. And I found myself like when we first were in it, it was like boom, it was stressful, it was quick change. It was like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do, and you kind of felt like a little panicked. And you felt like, I honestly felt like I'm working harder at home. Right. I feel like I'm doing more. Like, I thought I was gonna be able to, sit down and write that script or write that book or, do. I'm like, wait a minute, what is extra time they took? But it's slowing down a little bit. I kind of get it. I get having a routine. But just that initial like turn the world upside down kind of thing. It was like just boom. Just gotta do it. And it's like, oh my God. So, but I agree. Now I also believe that we will come out of this. We will emerge better. I do believe that. And actually, Dr. Singleton said, "Oh, I love it. A better normal." Refraining from thinking, from our thinking is critical. So yeah. So I get that, but that whole everybody, this not new normal. What happens if we can never come back in this kitchen and do kitchen talk? I'm gonna die.
Me too. I love being around.
JT talking about me too, but he talking about me too for the food.
Nah. What you ain't gonna do? Pardon my English, dog. What you ain't gonna do is try to sit there and act like I'm some kind of fat kid that just come to eat.
So what? That leads to my next question, Doc. That leads to my next question because we're talking about keeping ourselves right and making sure that we're sane. But what about our friends and family who we may not have that connection with? How can we help them in this time period?
I love it. First of all, you can be the person that initiate the connection. You can make sure that you are maintaining contact with those, especially like the grandparents, parents, people that are not as comfortable as using the technology. So yes, you can kind of be the initiator. Now, you guys appear to be doing very well, but there are some individuals that aren't doing well with this, and it's gotten pretty bad for them. So I would say just get the word out to just monitor your family, check in with them, making sure they're okay. There's a lot of people that are quarantining alone, like they don't have anybody with them and they're having a tough time with that.
Right.
So if you know there's some family members or your friends that are by themselves, check in with them. Just say, hey, just checking in. How are you doing? And if it seems like they need help, then you want to impart that, the information to them so they can receive the help.
I thought of that because of the laugh we just had. Sometimes you just need a good laugh from a good group of friends to kind of keep you going.
Yes, you do. And people are doing such creative ways to stay connected. We're seeing things like virtual happy hours, girl chat, guy chat hours. Families are getting together on Sundays virtually where siblings are talking with the parents. So there's a lot of ways for you to stay connected and have fun with the process.
JT, you gonna say something?
No, I was I actually lost my train of thought, but I did one of my friends, he said that they got together and went out the other night. He said it was like the most refreshing thing ever to him. I was like, I guess, but I guess when you've been working from home for so long, these last few months or whatever, then yeah, a happy hour is just what you need.
So I do know that because Florida is starting to open up, I guess over the last few weeks, I think some of our local facilities are opening up. Our local bars and restaurants and things like that are opening back up. And it does kind of make you, it's like, if you're in the desert and here go a little bit of water, you like trying to run to it and get to it. So yeah, I get it. I definitely get it. And I do think connecting in this way, like I like Zoom versus the telephone, I have never been a telephone person. So
I can tell.
Hold on, Dr. Henderson, close your ears for 1 second.
I got him.
Because what he's not gonna do is talk about my communication. He is a very poor communication. That's what you're not gonna do. See what I have to deal with? See?
Listen,
Yes, you needed some estrogen on your show, huh?
Right.
Listen, Frantz and Dr. Henderson,
this my girl, she got my back.
you can call her and she will never answer her phone, but she'll hit you back about 3 hours later. I ain't gonna say 3 days, but 3 hours later, what do you want? Well, shoot, I'm dead now.
The point is that I do go ahead and answer the question. Ask me how many questions I'm still waiting on the answer for.
You get them.
Well, you know what? I actually have a question for Doc. I do have a question for you.
Is that what we're doing
I
today?
have a question for you. When we are like closed in like this, and then they start to give us that chance to go out, how does that affect us in our sanity?
Very true. You can't fault anyone wanting to leave the house and wanting to become back involved in doing some of the normal things we used to do. You can't fault anybody for that. But like you said, the first thing is remaining sane about it. So given that it affects our community in a big way, you want to make sure that you have practiced the precautions. So before you go out, just do a little mental check. Say, hey, how I'm doing, how I'm feeling, what do I need to take with me to make sure I'm safe? If I need to go to the grocery store, if I want to go, now I think the barbershops are back open.
Back open,
yeah. So just be safe. I'm sorry.
Not to cut you. What if I want to go to like the strip club or something like that? Is there any precautions that I should take?
JT, you still have to wear your mask. You still would need to wear your mask and socially distance 6 feet. So I don't know how that's going to help you out. 6 feet.
So, but how am I going to socially distance myself when I want a lap dance? I can't even get a lap dance. I mean,
socially distance.
I can't with him.
So I got to like pretend like I'm like, all right, we ain't gonna go there.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Sorry, JT.
I'm so sorry, Dr. Henderson. I'm so sorry.
It's a real question.
It's a real question. I do think that just like we were talking about the desert, people are going to go out and they're going to drink as much as they could and may get too much.
Yes.
You still need to be very careful because it's not just your physical health, but your mental health. You start acting different around people. So,
yes.
Right, exactly.
It's going to be a trial and error for everybody because this is new. We haven't been through this before. So it's going to be a trial and error. And all I would encourage you to do is as you venture back out, be careful. Just use your precautions. Listen to what the healthcare professionals say and follow them. but it shouldn't stop you from beginning to do some of the things that you used to enjoy.
So we have COVID-19 that we're already dealing with, right? And so then you start to add layers onto that, with the police brutality, white supremacy, the racism, just everything now seems to, it's like a pressure cooker. Like COVID-19 wasn't enough, that we just had to start adding all of this other stuff. And I remember even with dealing with the isolation, and like you were saying, some people, they are not with other people. You know, they're at a home alone in their homes every day in, day out. Yeah, they might have some of this interaction or whatever. So you add this and you add that, and you're not able to really, talk to anybody about how you're feeling. Or if you have those feelings that come up late, where you're not going to call somebody at 12 midnight and say, you know what, I'm feeling such and such and so, because they may or may not answer their phone, or you may feel like you're being rude if you try to call somebody because you're feeling some kind of way. How do you speak to that?
Very, very great question. Because it's a real thing, and I am seeing it as we speak in my own practice. And let's say if you have an individual that is feeling those type of emotions and they are socially isolated, don't have anyone to talk to. Nowadays, with the technology that we have and the growth of psychology in general, it is easy now for someone to just pick up the phone or get on your phone, your laptop, and you can literally use any app to talk to someone immediately, 24 hours a day. And you can talk about anything that's bothering you. You can get the coping skills right away to help you in that particular crisis or that mood. That's for those that have no one to turn to, no friends to pick up the phone to call. There is someone that you can talk to right away. Things like Doctor on Demand, Amwell, Lemonade. There's numerous ones that are very good, next to no cost or very limited cost to the person, and it's 24 hours. So we do have supports that are in place and services in place. If you don't feel comfortable talking to someone like that, then use one of the local therapists in town. Most of us now are doing telehealth services, so you don't even have to leave your home. You can call the therapist and we schedule you an appointment time, and you'll do traditional psychotherapy by phone, by video. So it's easy now to access services for pretty much all populations.
It's so amazing.
I love that, because we talked about that it's going to make the experience better coming out of this. New technology, new ways to connect. So I love it.
And I think it is too, just really not wonderful in the sense of, I hate that we're going through this, but wonderful in the sense of, we already kind of started the conversation pre-COVID-19. And so now people may not feel as bad about reaching out for help for their mental wellness, because now it's not, doesn't have as much stigma to it. And it's becoming more mainstream, so to speak, popular, or however you want to call it, to talk about your feelings and get that out. So here's another thing. So speak to the strong person, right? The one that everybody comes to. What do they do in this moment? Like, who? So I find myself like this sometimes. I'm the one that people come to. And so I'm the one that's always saying, oh, it's going to be all right, and da-da-da-da, and this, that, and the other. And then I found myself the other day, I think it was like last Friday. I don't know if you guys have seen this movie. It's called Inside Out. It's an animated movie by Pixar. And it's about this little girl, and it's the emotions that are in her head.
Oh
And
yeah,
so
I saw that.
so
Very
they're
good
like,
movie.
they got
Yep.
this whole,
Very good movie.
Yes, I heard about
thing
it.
or whatever.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
Netflix.
this particular Friday, I felt all of those emotions at one time. I
Yes.
was disgusted by some of the stuff that I was seeing on social media, not even social media, on the news. If you turn on CNN, whatever, the killing of George Floyd.
Yes.
I'm disgusted. I'm mad. I'm sad. But then I see pictures of people having babies, and the babies are fine, and birthdays and weddings and all of that. So I'm happy to see that. And then I'm also fearful because we don't know what COVID-19 can do, is still doing, and folks are walking around like it's all over. I have a mother that I'm like, y'all don't need to get that to my mama, whatever. So you got, I literally had all 5 of those emotions like at one time.
Yes.
And so I'm the one, I'm like, wait, I'm the one that's supposed to be encouraging other people. How can I encourage other people when I feel like this? And I'm turning into a cynic, and I'm turning into,
Yes. You're depleted. You're depleted.
how I'm feeling. So what I did, I just shut everything off and took a nap. But speak to that, Dr. Henderson, and see the strong person,
Mm-hmm. The strong person is usually the helper. And what you do, you expend a lot of your energy, your resources, your mental effort into others. So what happens over time, you will be doing very good work and good things for others, but over time you will become drained, depleted, emotionally all over the place because your valve has burst. So now when you think about it, you're not only depleted, but then you got all these images coming at you from COVID, from civil unrest with the George Floyd incident. And so you're constantly getting all of these images and energies your way, and it's your valve. You've had enough. So the best thing to do for our helpers, the strong people, so that you will be available down the line to return back to helping others, is to recharge. So I would advise you to just tune out. Yeah, you don't have to watch the COVID stuff all day. You don't have to watch the George Floyd and all the civil unrest all day. Just have it be just a piece of your day. And then spend the other parts of your day doing things that recharge the mind, the body, and the soul. So things that bring you joy, things that bring you peace, that grounds you. Like you said, you was trying to work on a script. If that's something that slows the mind down, that strokes your creativity, I would schedule an hour of that at least every day or every other day. Just things that has nothing to do with anybody else, but just nurturing you. It works wonders. It begins to recharge you again so that when you emerge from this, you will be able to help others, to be able to guide others and start doing good things again. But you won't be able to if your valve is full. And that's what it sounds like. You're full. So you got to have a release. And when you were emotionally all over the place, we call that spillage. When you were spilling all over the place, that was because your valve was full.
And I try so hard.
God, you are. I like your flow already on the camera setup. I want to know, what do you like more? Do you like the in-person consultation, or are you liking this now being able to do the video piece with? Because it felt like you were just giving us a session.
I appreciate that, Fransley, because I appreciate that. This has been a change for me too, because I've been practicing for 20 years, but I've been doing it in person. So telehealth has been something new for me for the past, I would say, year or two. So I would say, do I like the in-person? Absolutely. But I do understand, with growth comes change. So you have to change with the times, and, telehealth is it. And we had begun to make the shift, meaning our industry begun to make the shift way before COVID. So now I definitely see, wow, this was a great, great transition in preparation for COVID. But I
had a similar, with my work, I had a similar situation. I was already thinking about the internet, telework, and COVID just pushed me out of that comfort zone to say, okay, you just got to make it happen. So
that's right. You're going to be greatly prepared for the next chapter of your life. You're going to be prepared.
Right.
It's so cool.
I love it.
Dr. Singleton says, yes, love Inside Out.
I have to check that one out.
It's animated. It's a kids movie, but it is so cute. And I liked, and you can speak to this too. I liked the fact that the happy character was always trying to keep the sad character kind of away and out the way. And when it came down to it, I hate to give the movie away, but you can watch it. When it came down to it,
she needed that emotion.
Right. It was saying that you need all of them.
Yes.
You need all of them. Yes. And so can you speak to how, and I think I'm just like using myself for this whole conversation because I'm like this too.
You are.
I'm sorry. I can't be nobody but me. Like, I don't want to cry. I don't want to be sad. And so I try to do stuff just, to make sure that I'm not sad, or to make sure I'm not crying, or to make, and then like you say, I get full and it's like, whatever. And so the fact that, can we say, or is it all right that we sad? Is it all right to say I'm upset? Is it all right to say I'm feeling this and feeling that?
Yes, I want to emphasize this because I hear this a lot, and from males in particular. But to be human is to be emotional. Our emotions are normal. We were built to have them. So to cry, to laugh, to be angry, to be fearful, all of those are normal things. And it's okay for you to experience them from time to time. What happens is sometimes you will get out of balance. So you will feel more sad most days than not. That's when you become concerned. But to have a couple of sad days, that's absolutely normal. To have a couple of days where you're just feeling, I'm worried about this and that, and that's normal too. Because you have to just do a stop yourself, ask yourself, okay, why am I feeling this way? Oh yeah, I was stressed out all week. I had all these projects to do, haven't had much sleep. That's why I'm feeling this way. So you kind of stop, take a look at your life, see if your life is out of balance in some way. If it is, try to course correct. So it is very normal to have these emotions. So you don't have to go and talk to anybody just because you're having these emotions, because that is normal. That's being a human being. But let's say if you're constantly out of balance and you're feeling very sad, and that sadness gets intensified to depression, then that's when you may have an issue. Or if you get so anxious that now it's snowballing to panic attacks. So now I'm having these panic attacks. Now I'm afraid to go out of my house. I'm afraid of going into certain situations. That's when it becomes an issue. So having normal emotions are fine. They are just like clouds. They're fleeting. They will come and go. So you'll have the moment. You'll say, okay, why am I sad right now? You'll try to process that out, and then you'll move forward. Does that make sense? It's just more about balance.
Okay, it does. So what may be one of the signs that you do need help?
when it's more days than not. So if you find yourself out of a week's time that you're depressed most of the days, and you're finding yourself that you're withdrawing, you don't want to really talk to people much, you don't find joy in the things that you used to do, so you find yourself just being very idle, very inactive, then it's a sign to yourself that, okay, something's going on here. If you're beginning to have very negative thoughts about yourself, about others and situations, and you just can't find yourself feeling happy about anything, and it lasts for a very long time, that's when, you probably need to come and talk to someone.
Oh, that is good,
I like
good,
it.
good information.
That's very good. Very good.
Good information. Good information.
So, Doc, what do you do when you get to, I guess, the point of, like, if you already like your self-time? That's what I call it. I call it check myself, but there are times, because I'm a very social guy, social media, I like to talk to my friends and family, but there's times when I need to just, deal with me. You know what I mean? As you said, check yourself and go into that time where I'm refilling my cup. And people don't understand that, especially in COVID. Well, you're always at home by yourself anyways. What do you say to that? You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. There is nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, the introverts are kind of liking COVID.
Yes. I didn't want
really
to use the technical name.
It's a bad thing, but I like it.
It's perfectly normal as long as it doesn't affect your daily functioning. Like, you're still able to talk to your friends and family. You're still able to work if you still have jobs that take you out of the house, or even if you're working at home. If you're still able to do what you normally do, but you have your me time as well, nothing's wrong with it at all.
Love it.
So Dr. Singleton says this conversation is cooking. Yes. It's what we do. It's what we do. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So this is, I like the whole piece of us talking and whatnot is so therapeutic,
Yes.
Just these moments. So as we continue, what I do love about Kitchen Talk and Dr. Henderson, as you become a big fan, yay!
Already am. Yes.
One of the things that I do like about our group is that we talk for real. We're, for the most part, transparent, and it sparks, other things. Like, I've been out, and I think Frantz and JT too have been out, and people have said, you know what? I never thought about it like that way. Or, you guys are crazy. I have so much fun watching y'all. And our show comes on. This past season was 6:30 on Friday mornings. So for people to be up and like, I'm watching, I'm like, what, you up at 6:30 on a Friday for real? And they're up and they're watching, and it's just sparking so much conversation, which I think is great.
Yes.
But speak to how we can take these conversations and then add action to them. Does that make sense?
Yes, you are doing it. I like to say, in order to start a new behavior that you like and you want to see in your life, you just make it a habit. So you start doing it day by day.
That's right.
You just do it. And you don't look at it long term, you just look at it moment to moment, day to day. So you are doing it. So whatever you see that you like what you did today, you like how this feels, do it tomorrow or do it next week and do it the week after that. And then before long, it's a habit. It's a new behavior.
What did
I
you
like
say,
that.
JT?
No, no.
Nothing for me, JT?
I can't with him.
We gonna stay in right field. I'm staying right field today. All right, this Sunday, I'm staying right field.
Oh God.
So one of my other friend girls, April Merritt, just joined us, and she says, "Just do it." So yeah, so just do it, just get it done. I love it. I love it.
Just do it.
I love it because it's not just do it, it's do it and be consistent.
Do it well.
You know, that's how you make it a habit when you do it consistently. So, Doc, you're right. You know, it's not just call that person who's by themselves one time. It's calling them on a consistent time. You know, it's not checking yourself to see how you are mentally, physically, and emotionally one time out of the month. You may want to do it every day to ensure that you're on the right track. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, especially with all that's going on, before the show, we were talking about 2 new incidents, you know, that just happened this weekend. So I think it's a constant push to ensure that your sanity is in place, because you don't know what's coming at you from left field.
And how do you? I know. Here's another question. So, how do you deal with wanting to help or speak to the different things that are going on in our world with the racism, with the police brutality, and you see the marches and you see the protests, but maybe that's not you. I'm 5 feet tall. If something happened at a protest, I'm getting run over. So I'm probably not gonna go out there. I already know.
I already do, JT.
JT.
You see?
I'm gonna mute your microphone.
If you 5 feet, you don't need to be at the protest. Be at the front.
But
you already got JT to go in.
See, Dr. Henderson, what I have to, I'm being all serious. And
I'm gonna leave you alone. I'm gonna leave you alone.
So how do you speak to someone who may be feeling, because there are times when I feel a little helpless, like what can I do? You know, whatever. Not necessarily speak to things to do, but speak to feeling helpless. How do you get past that?
Yes. Well, you utilize the tools that you have in your own toolkit, and you have a big one. You have this platform. So if you want to talk about it, talk about it. Use this platform. So whatever that you have in your own toolkit, you use it to the best of your ability. And then you will feel like you are also, you know, contributing to what's going on around us now.
Yeah.
I also think you said earlier, Doc, where you can call somebody. If you don't know a person that you wanted to talk to, you can call a physician now, like yourself. When you feel like there's no other place to go, I think now we have, you know, options. So there's always hope.
Oh yes. Yes, I was thinking about. Were you asking about how do you like make your voice known in regards to what's happening?
Right. Okay. Or just the feeling of, you know, how do you pull yourself out of the feeling, the mental space of being helpless, or the mental space of feeling hopeless, you know, because sometimes when we can't help, we lose hope.
That's true. What'll help with that is just what I was saying earlier about disconnecting from that content for a while, because it triggers that in a lot of people. Like if you're watching that a lot, you will feel the impact of it emotionally, like feeling helpless. Like, so disconnect from it from time to time so that you're back into your real world or your reality, and then you get recharged up, and then you can connect back into it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, so I got another one. I know, Frantz, this is Felisa. I'm having
a therapeutic moment right now. Lisa, get out there. You might have to charge her at this point.
This was more than kitchen talk.
Like, it's getting real. She embodies you with her own thought process of.
I promise I didn't. I promise, Dr. Henderson, I didn't. I promise I didn't.
No.
But you know how you feel like
Doc's number is strolling at the bottom. So for those who might need her help, Lisa,
you might get
on your own time.
Don't be surprised if you get more clients.
Right.
They are welcome.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I promise this was not my intent. Because I said earlier about I've always been like a really, really friendly person, don't meet a stranger, really optimistic. And now I find myself, giving people the side eye, like, really, or, I'm looking at them like I'm turning into a cynic, like, okay, yeah, you walk by me and speak, but did you really want to speak to me? Or you just doing that for me not to say you're a racist, or, just this whole thing. And then not them, but then I get mad at myself because then I start beating myself up. Like, why are you acting this way? Why are you feeling this way? You shouldn't be feeling like that. You need to bring your optimism back. You need to bring your friendliness back, or whatever. So is that a type of trauma, I guess, is what I'm trying to figure out. Have I been traumatized in some kind of way that is now like making me not Lisa anymore? And then I'm like, okay, when I'm not doing something that I feel like is Lisa, I'm beating Lisa up because you don't act like that, Can you speak to that?
Yes, it's going back to what we were discussing earlier. I would say after Lisa, you have disconnected and recharged, because once again, you are interacting with your surroundings from a place of being full. Like you are literally emotionally full. Your valve can't take anymore. So first, let's empty that out by recharging yourself, separating yourself from all of those triggers. And then after doing that, like connecting more with things that bring you a sense of peace, more balance, more relaxation. After doing that for a while, then see how you feel. See how you feel then when you're interacting with others. If that persists, then you can talk more about what you were saying. But first, I would say just disconnect from it. Disconnect from it and recharge just your emotional tank. Recharge that.
Good. That's good. That's good.
I love it. Very good. I think there's a piece of that people may struggle with, and this is literally helping the people that are like Lisa. How do you take it away? How you said you're full, but besides just saying, close it down, what do you do, like specifically?
Yes. There are certain therapeutic tools we use. I won't get into it too much here because, but there are some things that we teach: relaxation skills, mindfulness, which is a big one. Mindfulness, where you basically can zone out, connect more, and it brings you a sense of peace, calm, and just balance. So there are certain tools you can use. If you were in a therapy session, then your therapist would literally teach you and walk you through those tools. But you now can kind of go around the process and just pull down one of the apps. You can literally go online and Google mindfulness tools or mindfulness apps, download it on your phone. And then during those times where, let's say, Lisa, if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're like, I can't take it anymore, go have a seat, kick your legs up, sit back, and then just go through the app. And it'll walk you through it step by step and see how you feel. There's breathing techniques you can use to ground you.
Yes.
Things like that.
Ooh,
And
I
rub
was
your
just
ears.
gonna say that. That's why I asked that question, is because I'm a massage therapist as well. So by
Are
trade,
you
I have my
really?
massage therapy piece. I know, Lisa, but COVID has kept my massage therapy. Anyways, there are different
Booty to rub
breathing
on.
techniques, relaxation techniques that I think people should be doing to kind of know that that's going to give me a way out of all of that craziness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. This is good stuff. This is good stuff.
Great stuff.
Okay, I
Real
think
good.
I'm doing my therapy
Real
session for the
Listen, you done took the whole time.
I know.
We only got 3 minutes.
I know.
You took the whole
3
time.
minutes?
Oh, don't act like
That's
that.
it.
Wow.
Don't act like that.
We only got 3. Well, all the stuff that JT's dealing with, 3 minutes is not enough.
Well, first of all, JT wasn't gonna talk because he macho. He don't talk to therapists.
Well, JT, have we made
That's
you a
wrong.
believer? Are you a believer now, JT?
Say, huh?
Are you a believer now? Are you open to it now?
Believer. I've been a believer for a long time.
Okay.
That's a different type of belief.
Yeah,
That's a different type of belief.
Right.
You know what? That is another question, because a lot of people are not going to church
yes.
or to their spiritual place anymore. How does that affect? I know we got 2 minutes left, but Doc, what do you think about that in terms of?
Yes. The biggest
sanity.
The biggest thing on the religious point is they're missing the connection with the other members and fellowship. Mm-hmm. But you still can vote. You still can see services. You can hear your pastor message every Sunday. So we still have that capability. But I do understand they're missing that connection. So just like we do with non-secular things like texting, doing group chats, try to also do that in a religious context too. Like members actually having an hour where they're doing a prayer circle, but it's just virtual now.
Yeah.
So, doing more things like that, being creative.
Yeah. We're still, a lot of churches are still doing their virtuals. Mm-hmm. We do Zoom, we do live service, all of that. But yeah, it is true. You miss that community of it. I am a touch person, so this is like, it's one of the hard things. It's one of the hard things, and there's nothing really that I've found that replaces touch. So it's just something you have to deal with.
Yes.
In that sense. You disagree, Frantz?
No, I agree. Oh. I agree. Touch therapy is a huge part of the mental health facility. So without that touch, I think touch is an important piece to your sanity as well. So that's just my piece, Hey.
Yeah.
I would agree.
So my friend April, she says, yes, deep breathing.
Yes.
So, yeah. I've definitely been doing some deep breathing. Yeah. What'd you say, JT?
A deep breath will take you a long way sometimes. Especially when you're about to slap the hell out of somebody.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Like that deep breathing just saved your life, didn't
it? Yeah. You better be glad I know Jesus.
Exactly.
Oh, just like that, it's 6 o'clock.
I know.
I told you guys for having
95 seconds. We got 95 seconds. One of my other friend girls, Tel Aviv Bonaro, just said it is one of the 5 senses that is needed, and she's talking about the touch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
it is important. Sometimes you just, you could go to church and that mother just give you that good hug. She don't say nothing. She don't ask you about the business. she just embrace you.
Yes.
And it's like, oh,
Yes.
You
Or
know?
just like some pastors believe that it's nothing wrong with some laying of the hand.
that's how we're gonna end the show today.
JT
That one
on-
right there. I can't with him.
I'm done.
Don't mind me, Doc. This is what I do.
Dr. Singleton says, this has been excellent. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody,
Love
for
it.
joining us.
Thank
Thank you for your
you.
comments. It has been, and it goes quickly.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I can't believe it.
It goes quickly. Dr. Henderson, you have to come back
Anytime.
sometime and share with us and talk with us. It's been so great. One quick announcement. We are moving to a weekly show, a weekly
Yes. Yes.
So be on the lookout. We settled on Thursdays at 9:00. Oh, that'll be starting next week. Oh, my friend April said, JT, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. And he's gone. Where did he go? Where did he go? So, yes.
Went to go lay hands on somebody.
Right.
Oh, God.
Right. So be
Oh,
on the lookout for us next Thursday. We're gonna get started with Kitchen Talk Live weekly. And we'll just see where it takes us. I'm super excited to have these conversations. And again, thank you, Dr. Henderson. Jamal, would you put her information up for us again right quick before we officially sign out? You can reach Dr. Henderson at the ticker at the bottom. She, again, is a licensed clinical psychologist. She owns her own practice, North Florida Cares Incorporated. Her number is 850-656-1195.
96.
Did I
Oh,
do it?
nice.
It's 96.
It is wrong. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
656-1196. I'll make sure I get it corrected and put your information up on our pages as well. Thank you so much again.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you,
Loved
Doc.
it.
It was so cool. All right, so bye, y'all.
Love
We'll see
you.
y'all
Bye.
later. Talk CTC, friends.
Conversations at Cook. JT, where you at?
I know, right? Dude,
I do not know what's going on. I do not know what's going on.
I'm
I'm
gonna
having
need
some
you to do
technical
better.
difficulties.
I'm gonna need you to do better.
I'm trying to do better. I'm trying not to look like Teddy Riley on this thing. And
You looking like Teddy Riley.
but
Yes.
I do not understand, man. It keeps kicking me out, but you know. But anyways, conversations that cook. I'm back.
All right, thank you guys.
Better late than never.
Bye.
Bye, Doc. All right,
All right,
guys.
Peace out.